Just in case you don't remember, Frank Hill is a jeweler of sorts, and right now he's about to pick up a few stones. I guess that's what you could call them. Actually, they're really not stones. They're, well, droppings. You see, Frank makes jewelry from quail droppings.
Now, what are you looking for when you're looking at this?
Well, we're looking for the ideal droppings that would be the most natural from a bird, you know.
Frank used to raise quail, but feed costs began to soar and he wasn't getting a return on his investment.
I figured I need to make a about face thing, and so I had to start at the back end of the bird, and I said, well, maybe I could get something out of the dropping, you know. I was going to give them away, really, as a joke, and then my Yankee friends started crowding around me wanting to buy them, and I sold them. So I came back home and said, well, maybe my money in the bird is in the back end rather than the front end, so that is really the way I got into them.
Frank encases the droppings in a special plastic. He makes tie tacks, pins, necklaces, rings, and even bolos. They've become rather famous and are sold across the country, even up north.
But I do think it's great when old Southern boys sell a Yankee a little pile of manure no bigger than that for $10. You know, that's great. He's done something, I think. We kind of got back at him.
Of course, it isn't just Yankees who buy the jewelry.
They called me from up there in the new Senate office building, one of Mr. Thurman's aides, and he was wanting some of them, and I told him that I was surprised that they'd write me, old country boy way down here in South Carolina, for such a little bit of when it must be knee-deep up there where they're at, you know. They didn't think that was too funny, I don't think, but I thought it was, really, you know.
Well, Frank recently hit the high point of his jewelry career when he appeared, are you ready for this? On The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
They called me and asked about them, and they said, we understand you have an unusual item, Mr. Hill. I said, yes, and I do. And
so Frank was flown out to California where the show is taped. We can't show you any of the program because the Carson people plan to use Frank's segment on an upcoming anniversary show. Obviously, Carson was very impressed.
Well, he thought it was pretty good. I mean, you know, I made him a star, you know, and had a big dropping in it. Had a star with a big dropping for a big star. And he said he was touched, but I believe it kind of pulled him a leg. I didn't see no tears coming out of his eyes when I presented with him. But
Frank says he always felt he might make it to national TV with his jewelry, but even so, he still finds it a little hard to believe he was treated so royally.
Now, ain't that something that they pay you way and feed you and pay you to be on the show to sell my you know, it's amazing what goes on in this world today.